Welcome to the Hawaii of Europe. We are taking you to the beautiful island of Madeira, and on this 7-day itinerary, we're going to be taking you to jaw-dropping viewpoints, epic hikes, natural swimming pools, and hidden gems you cannot miss. We're sharing insider tips we wish we knew before we went so that you can skip the guesswork and experience the absolute best of this magical island. Whether you're chasing sunrises above the clouds or swimming in volcanic pools, this is the only adventure guide that you're going to need before you head to Madeira. So stick around because we promise you won't walk away without knowing exactly how to see this island the right way. Hi, we're Giselle and Steven, also known as the Lover's Passport, and we're taking you on a new bucket list adventure every single month of this year. If you guys love to travel, make sure to hit that like and subscribe. And with that, let's go ahead and jump into the Hawaii of Europe. So first things first, you're going to be flying into the Madeira airport, which I'm going to be honest is a little bit sketchy. You have to go against the crosswinds when you are landing there, so expect a bumpy ride. That being said, it is one of the most beautiful airplane flights that you will be able to have as you fly into this island.
So depending on what time of day that you're landing on Madeira, the first thing that most people do are going to go explore the beautiful area of Funchal. This is the island's capital city, and it is really unique and stunning. It's packed with charming streets, historic markets, and beautiful ocean views, and it's the perfect base to explore the island with great restaurants and nightlife. And the Old Town and Waterfront Promenade have a lot to do. There's the famous cable cars that can take you up to the botanical gardens, which is one of the most popular things to do in the area. Or you can just get lost and explore the streets. There's lots of really cute art galleries, ceramic shops, shopping in general, you name it, lots of good stuff in this area. We decided to make our home base for this trip in Ponta do Sol, but if we weren't going to do that, we'd probably make Funchal our home base since there's so much more here to do in terms of dining and activities. Or if you want to be a little ambitious, you can also split up your trip where you're spending a couple nights in Funchal and a couple nights in Ponta do Sol.
Grabbing a rental car is extremely easy here, so we grabbed that and immediately headed up to the Escarpa, which is where we will be spending the next 7 days.
So starting off your first day in Madeira, weather pending, of course, is the famous Pico to Pico hike. Hopefully it is entirely open for you. We visited here in the last week of April to the first week of May in 2025, and unfortunately part of the trail was closed. So we were able to park at the top of the parking lot.
All right, just paid for parking. Cruising up to the top.
And hike about 20 minutes into the Stairway to Heaven viewpoint of this hike. But unfortunately, we were not able to get to Pico Revo. Apparently, you can still hike it on the backside, but you can't do it from Pico de Ariro. This is arguably the most popular thing to do on the island, and so expect a lot of crowds. There's a big Instagram versus reality scene here.
So we started hiking out here around 6:50 in the morning. We got to the parking lot around 6:30, which was an hour before the sunrise. And there were still a couple spots left, but it definitely filled up right after we went. Now it is about 8:15 a.m. and it is completely crowded. The parking lot, the upper one, is full, so you'd have to park in the lower one. So make sure to give yourself enough time to plan for parking and paying for parking, getting your permit, because you do have to get a little, it's like €3 to get a permit to hike, and so on and so forth. So make sure to give yourself enough time there and plan ahead. It only took us about 20 minutes to get there because it's mostly downhill from the trailhead to get there. But that being said, it does drop down almost 1,000 feet in elevation gain, so you're gonna have to be hiking that on the way out. Make sure to wear some good shoes, bring enough water, bring your 10 essentials, be prepared.
But once you park, make sure to pay for your parking that is enforced, and also pay for your trail permits or fees. It's about €3 per person. I'll link the website to buy all of your hiking passes for your whole 7-day itinerary down below in the description box, because it's the same site for every hike. Something to note is if you're not doing this hike for sunrise and you're doing it in the morning to early afternoon, the top lot does get closed off by rangers, and so you'll have to park in a lower lot and either take a shuttle up to the top of the trailhead, or you'll have to walk the additional kilometers. So just keep that in mind if you're doing it anytime after 9 a.m. This is the coolest hike because you'll be walking above the clouds with panoramic mountain views, and it's absolutely unforgettable. Make sure to bring layers because it does get a little bit chilly up there, and we actually had perfect weather the first time we did this, but we also tried attempting to do it again twice at sunset, and it was completely clouded out by the time we got there. So it's about an hour drive from Ponta do Sol, which is where we were based. So give yourself enough time for driving, for parking, for hiking. Honestly, like a couple hour endeavor for this whole thing just to to see the sunrise or sunset up there. But at sunset, honestly, you get the same conditions as sunrise. You get way less of crowds, and it's just a more enjoyable experience. So if you're trying to choose sunrise or sunset, they're basically the same. If you're not a photographer who's going for a particular golden hour, I would just go at sunset.
On day 2, we're gonna be taking you to the southwest area of Madeira. One of the best spots to see sunset is here at Cascada dos Años. It's a beautiful spot and really fast. I'm gonna give a pronunciation disclaimer. If we pronounce anything wrong, we apologize. We do not speak Portuguese, but we are really excited to be taking you around Madeira. Luckily, our hotel, the Escapa, is literally a 5-minute walk from here. So we checked into our hotel earlier, we relaxed all day. It's in a beautiful spot. It's kind of hidden, honestly. It's about 45 minutes outside of the main hub, but it's really, really beautiful hotel. We ended up getting the infinity pool, plunge pool with it. So we have this beautiful area to relax during the day. There's some sun chairs. We have a nice balcony we can relax in. And then we decided for sunset, we would walk down here. And this is probably the least crowded that you're gonna see it. This area gets incredibly crowded. You used to actually be able to drive this road where the waterfall comes down, but now they have shut that down as of April 2025, since we've been here. You do have to park a little bit. It's a little bit of a walk away. So if you guys are planning to come to it, just keep that into account. During sunset, it was not too bad though. I would arrive around 30 minutes before sunset, but absolutely stunning photos, really beautiful spot, especially if the sun shows for you. The next spot that you're gonna be stopping is Ponta do Sol. This is a cute little town that is right next to the Escarpa where we were staying, and it's known for being one of the sunniest spots on the entire island. So you are definitely gonna wanna come here. If the rest of the island is cloudy, every time we would come back to the Escarpa and be right next to Ponta do Sol, it was absolutely beautiful. And it has really beautiful buildings, so definitely recommend grabbing lunch here. The next spot that we went to is Calheta. This is a phenomenal spot with a lot of really good food. So this is where we typically stopped after our day of adventure for lunch or for dinner, and it is one of the only spots on the island with actual sandy beaches, so you are not going to want to miss it. Right along this road is Paul du Mar, which is a small little sleepy surf town. We didn't spend too much time in it, but if you guys are looking for a spot to relax and take in these stunning views of these gigantic cliffs, make sure to add this to your itinerary. The next spot is called Miradora da Garganta Funda. This was one of our personal favorite spots, and it is a little bit off the beaten path. So just know when you are visiting to make sure you leave no trace, make sure you stay on trail, and be very mindful of the locals here. Because when we visited, there was tons of construction, but it takes you to this jaw-dropping waterfall. It's probably the biggest waterfall we saw on our entire trip to Madeira, and you also get this stunning viewpoint both to the left and to the right of the ridges. We would recommend going here during sunset. We ended up going here during the middle of the day, but it was still absolutely beautiful, and honestly it was nice to get out of some of the crowds. Now during this trip, you are going to be eating a lot of fish, so anytime we found a spot that was not the only place to grab food and did not only serve fish, we were pretty stoked. We ended up grabbing food at Buddha and Sakura. It had really delicious Indian food and also had some nice Asian cuisine like sushi that you could get there. So if you're looking for a nice spot for dinner and are in the mood for something besides fish, I would definitely recommend stopping at this spot in Calheta.
Now let's jump into day 3 of your Madeira itinerary. Today we're going to focus more on the northern side of the island, starting in São Vicente. This area is along the coast and it's absolutely stunning. There's cascading layers of all the beautiful homes, and it's right next to the waterline, lots of waterfalls and so much lush greenery. And that is kind of your gateway village into the stunning area of Sexol. This area is the home to the famous black sand beach of Madeira, as well as some of the beautiful natural pools in the area. So we're gonna start our day off here getting breakfast at this stunning snack bar. This snack bar is called Avisa Navios, and it is a cozy little breakfast spot with local pastries and oceanfront views, and there's lots of cute cats and gardens, and the food was honestly delicious. It was probably my favorite breakfast of the whole week. They make really good cappuccinos. We had pancakes, we had fruit bowls, we had fresh squeezed orange juice, and the owners there were just so nice. The view is 10 out of 10. You can't beat it, and it's really affordable for a breakfast on the island. So if you're spending the day in this area, we definitely recommend stopping here for breakfast. Next, I would head down to Sexol Beach. There's a few different parking areas for this, and in the morning, it honestly doesn't get too busy. We were able to find parking here really easily before 10 a.m., but after that, it does start to get a little bit crowded. The first time that we visited was in the afternoon, and it was really packed. So anytime after 12 p.m., just know all the tours are going to be there. There's going to be a lot of parking demands, and it's super, super narrow streets here. So we would recommend doing this in the morning right after breakfast. Or if you want to get up for sunrise, this is a great sunrise area of the island if you're a photographer. Once you're done spending some time on the beach, you're going to head over to Sexel's natural pools.
In the natural pools, it is so blue, you guys. Like, look at how clear this is. And it's wild because the ocean is directly next to you, just smashing, literally crazy.
These are about €3 per person for adults, and they were totally worth it. It was about 65 degrees Fahrenheit inside of the water, so it was a little bit chilly, but on a nice warm day, it felt super refreshing. The parking is very limited, so we parked up top. There is a little mid area where you can park your car, but it's down a very, very steep road, so if you're not comfortable with that, park up top in the town and walk down the steps. That's one thing to note about Madeira. There are tons and tons of stairs everywhere, and it's not very accessible friendly. There's also a bar over at the natural pools where you can get fresh pineapples with pina coladas, as well as just tables where you can sit and relax and enjoy while you are swimming over there. So definitely recommend it. Bring lots of sunscreen. There are bathrooms and a little changing area. It was fairly busy, but it wasn't too bad. We liked going around 1 p.m.-ish because it felt really nice. The morning crowds were gone, and it was just an overall really nice experience. So definitely recommend stopping here. While you're driving along this road near Sexel, there's also a cool little pull-out viewpoint that you can check for a couple of waterfalls, as well as the famous Riviera de Inferno, which is a hidden canyon with a lot of lush vegetation. Along similar lines, you can't miss this next viewpoint. It's called the Miradora de Vu de Nueva.
I hope I said that right. But anyways, it's a waterfall that pours almost directly into the ocean, and it is absolutely stunning. We highly recommend just stopping here. There's a little parking lot right above the waterfall viewpoint, and you just take a short little 2-minute walk down to the actual platform over here, and it's stunning. The water is so blue. The waterfall is just picture perfect, especially on a sunny day like this, especially if you're heading nearby to the natural pools or the black sand beach. This is a great little stop on this northern side of the island.
And it's also known as the Bride's Veil Waterfall viewpoint. Check out a few of these photos we got. And if you guys are interested, make sure to check out our travel photography ebook. We teach you exactly how to take stunning photos like these on your trips.
Today is going to be our adventure to the northeast side of the island, and is going to be a lot of hiking.
We are starting out the morning here at what is known as the Cranes Viewpoint. It is an incredible sunrise location, but the weather is definitely a little hit and miss today. We got here 30 minutes before sunrise, which is currently around 7:30 a.m. And there's a parking lot here with like about 5 spots, so you do want to get here early. It's definitely way more low-key than other sunrise spots on the island, but since there is limited parking, make sure to get here early if you are trying to catch golden hour, and nobody else was here. So it was really, really stunning. Highly recommend it. This is on the far opposite side of the island. We are now on the eastern side of Madeira, and we're gonna go head out for a hike, hopefully weather pending, right after this.
Next, we're going to be taking you to one of the most famous hikes in all of Madeira, known as Virada de Ponta de São Lourenço. It is right at the very northeast side of the island, with cliffs plunging directly into the sea. We would highly recommend bringing sunscreen and water though, and be ready for super strong winds, as well as a ton of crowds. We ended up getting here right around 9 a.m. and it was still pretty crowded. I believe we got one of the last parking spots there, but after 10 a.m. you will find no more parking spots. That's when the tour buses start to come, and you will see hundreds and hundreds of people here. So the earlier you get there, the better.
So we're here on a Tuesday, and this is the most insane parking I've ever seen for like any hike. People are parking on the road, they're double parking, they're blocking people in. Don't be an a-hole or moron when you park out here. Just, you know, if you're here and there's no more spots, just come back.
Go to a different hike.
Go to a different hike. Have a plan B. I think that's really good to know for all of the popular hikes on Madeira is have a plan B in the event you can't find parking. And get here early, because, I mean, like we were saying, we got here around 9 o'clock, and we were getting the last couple of parking spots up in the top lot. But it's now 12 o'clock. You can't expect there to be parking at like mid-afternoon peak time. So Just so you know, so you avoid this craziness.
We would recommend going and seeing sunrise and immediately after driving here and doing the hike even before you have breakfast, just so you can go when it does not get too packed. One thing I will say that was really nice is at the bottom of the hike, if you want to grab a snack or a coffee, at 10:30, there's a little snack shop that opens up.
We're now here at Casa de Sardina. We got some lattes and banana bread, which I think is super, super nice. It's so interesting because in the US, we don't have anything like this where at the bottom of a hike, you can stop. They serve like full lunch. They have full bottles of wine that you can get. They have seating. There's even down here a little boat that can take you all the way back to the main parking lot. So really, really nice that there's these little tiny opportunities. We are going to be hiking back just because it's such a beautiful trail. And I will say to bring tons and tons of different layers because between the wind, the rain, the sun.
It's raining again. Not 2 minutes after we recorded the last video, it is now sunny and raining on us.
Bring a jacket.
But the coffee's good.
I've taken my jacket off and put it back on like 10 times, but we're gonna enjoy a nice little breakfast. And if you guys want to use the bathroom, here it is €1. I will say that it is a very, very exposed trail, so you're probably not gonna want to go somewhere on the trail. So hold it down here, grab a cup of coffee or lunch if you want, and then you can use the bathroom for €1.
And when you get there, you will have to pay a €3 fee. You'll see this at almost all of the hikes on Madeira, where there's a little QR code or a website. You'll have to go to that and then purchase it online. When we got there, there was no ranger there to check, but when we were leaving, the rangers were there waiting for people to pay before they started hiking.
2 hours, 20 minutes,
4.5 miles.
and what, 1,300 feet of elevation gain? Not too bad.
After this, you're gonna be driving up to the town of Fayal. It is a quiet little village known for its traditional charm and beautiful ocean views. We honestly did not stop to go in any of the shops, but it was really nice to stop, throw up the drone, take in the views, and it's just such a beautiful spot to walk around at. Next up is gonna be the São Jorge ruins. These were pretty cool to go and visit. There's a nice little stop. It's not someplace that you're gonna wanna go and spend a ton of time, but on a rainy day like it was for us, we walked through and it was a nice little spot to get out and stretch our legs along our route up the coast.
We are now here at the São Jorge ruins, and honestly, they're okay. They're mainly just this one little arch that is pretty cool. It gives you like this nice little framing shot of the beautiful ocean. The cool part is there is a pool here, although right now it is freezing here, so we are not going to be going in the pool. But if you come in the afternoon, there is a pool, there is a restaurant that you can come and hang out in. Would highly recommend coming and checking out the arch. Fun little spot. It's right next to the ocean. The waves today are gigantic, but yeah, we're going to keep on cruising.
Next, you're gonna grab lunch at one of our favorite restaurants on the entire island called Bolo do Caco Grill and Pizza. It's a laid back spot for lunch. It has this beautiful overlooking view over the entire island. We ended up going for their smash burger, which was their most popular thing, as well as one of their loaded chicken pizzas. We definitely recommend getting both. If you are a couple, you could honestly probably just split the smash burger because it was so freaking massive. The next spot you're gonna go and check out is called Miradora da Beira da Quinta. This was a stunning viewpoint along the route. It's about 5 to 10 minutes after the lunch location, so you can look over the entire valley. And it was really cool as the sunrise hit because we had a little bit of a cloudy day, but it is a really nice viewpoint if you're looking to get above some of the epic ridges. And on the way back, we definitely recommend stopping by Boa Ventura. It's a quiet, kind of off the beaten path village. It has traditional homes, it has gorgeous mountain sceneries, and it's right next to the traditional rose garden there, which is actually one of the best rose gardens in all of Europe.
It's day 5, so today we're going to be focusing on more of the northwestern side of Madeira. First stop is the Fennel Forest.
We are now here at Madeira's most famous forest. These are some ancient till trees and they are stunning. This spot is known for being a super eerie, fairy tale-like area of the island because of the fog that rolls in here so often. So if you're looking for a really unique spot on the island, definitely come to the Faneuil Forest. The parking is a bit of a nightmare, but it's definitely more spots than most of the places on the island. We've come here twice now. Yesterday when we came here, we got here around 10 o'clock and we were still able to find parking, but it was a madhouse when we were leaving. Today we came here around 11:30 a.m. and we were easily able to find a spot. We found that most of the tours coming here are leaving around 11:30, so there's a lot more openings after that morning rush kind of fills out. So that's something else to consider. But if you want this eerie fog, you definitely want to come here before noon. That's when it's most likely to come and roll in. It does come in waves if you want this mystical look, so you'll have to be a little patient. Yesterday we came, it was just cloudy, no mist, and then other times if you come at sunset, it's like completely clear. So you can come here multiple times during your visit to Madeira and have a completely different experience. But if you're looking for a fairy tale vibe, definitely check this spot out while you're visiting.
Guys, the weather changes here every 5 minutes. It was like
sopping wet.
perfect conditions, incredible. And then look at this. It's just like absolutely torrential downpour.
Even with a rain jacket, like soaking wet.
Afterwards, you're going to want to head over into Porto Moniz to grab some breakfast. There's quite a few different spots here for breakfast, so you can really take your pick. And then once you grab a bite to eat, you're going to want to head over to the natural pools over here, similar to the ones in Sexel, but these are a little more built up and more commercialized, if you will. And these are completely surrounded by lava rocks. So we are here at the Porto Moniz pools. They were about €3 for each of us to get in, which is the same price as the ones in Sexel. These ones are much more developed. They have a ton of lava rocks over here. So it kind of reminds me a little bit of the Blue Lagoon in Iceland. It's the same temperature, 65 degrees, but this one is definitely like more put together, a little bit nicer than the natural pools in the other city. There's a lot more parking for this one in Porto Moniz than the one in Sexel, but I would recommend doing both, especially on a nice sunny day. Super refreshing. It was 65 degrees, which in April, or I guess, no, now it's May, which in May it was cold. So most people are just kind of lingering on the more shallow areas. You can also just come here, rent a day bed, rent an umbrella or a chair basically and sit out and enjoy the nice weather without having to go in the water. But I took a little dip. It was chilly, but it was very refreshing. So keep that in mind. It's super nice because we're here before 10:30 a.m. It opened at 9 a.m. and we got here and we were one of the first 5 people to get here, so it wasn't super crowded. But the other day when we tried coming here and just driving around the city, it was absolutely packed around noon. So if you are trying to come in the morning before all the tour buses and tours get here, because it gets extremely busy, since it is one of the best things to do here in Madeira. Afterwards, there's a couple of really cool viewpoints that you can stop by while you're traveling around this side of the island. The first being Miradora de Ponta de Ladeira. It's a viewpoint overlooking the coastline, and it really reminds me a lot of Hawaii's Napali coast. There's only like 4 or 5 parking spots here though, so you might have to wait your turn to get an actual parking spot or park a little further away and walk down. This is actually a really great sunset spot, so depending on how you rearrange your itinerary, you could go here at sunset, but it's also really nice during the middle of the day. Similarly, there's another viewpoint close by called Achada de Cruz. You can also drive up to it. There's a lot more parking over here, and there's a cable car actually that will take you down to this gorgeous beach depending on the day. Sometimes it's closed for maintenance. When we were there, unfortunately, it was indeed closed for maintenance, but the viewpoint was still super stunning. It's actually one of the steepest cable cars in all of Europe, and when I got out and I looked at this thing, I was like, wow, it was not exaggerating. Like, we've done a lot of really steep funiculars and gondolas around like Switzerland, but this one was crazy drop. So if you don't like heights, maybe don't do the cable car, but it's pretty affordable. Just make sure to check the timetables because Google Maps had said it was open when we were going and it was not. So sometimes it is a bust, but that's okay. They also have a restaurant up there if you want to enjoy the views and grab a bite to eat. There's a few more options for your day today. The Lavada das 25 Fontes, which is the PR6 trail, is a really awesome super popular hike on the island that we recommend doing in the afternoon to avoid the crowds. They are filled with lots of waterfalls along the way, but I will say this is a little bit longer of a hike. There is a lot more elevation gain, but it's totally worth it. It's one of the most famous hikes on the island for a reason. Like the other hikes, you will have to pay a parking fee here, so just keep that in mind, but make sure to pack all the layers, especially a rain jacket. But this does get really, really popular, just like all the hikes by 9 a.m. So since you're going to be on the Portamones side of the island in the morning, definitely do this in the afternoon around 2 or 3 p.m. And lastly, if you're looking for a great bite to eat over on the side of the island, you're going to want to check out the number 8 food house. This was some really amazing Asian food that we had found on a quick Google search, and it ended up panning out so well. The sweet and sour chicken was phenomenal. So was the chow mein, and the staff was so friendly and nice. And it was a gorgeous route over in Calheta. So definitely recommend it if you are looking for some good Asian food on the island.
On day 6, you're going to start off at Mirador de Ponta de Rosta.
Good morning. We are on the far east of the island for sunrise this morning here at Ponta de Rosto. It's an absolutely stunning little viewpoint. It's known for being one of the best sunrise spots on the island. Of course, that is all weather dependent. As you will see, that's a trend here on Madeira. The weather changes pretty frequently. So we checked the live cams in Machico and the other neighboring towns over here this morning, and it looked kind of clear-ish. We did have a little break in the clouds, so we had a nice tiny sunrise for a second, but outside it's a little cloudy, but hopefully you get better conditions than we did because it's a stunning spot. If you're planning on doing the São Lourenço trail that we did 2 days ago, then this would be a great sunrise spot to add on to that if you want to combine and knock both of them out at the same time. Or if you are not able to do the full hike or you don't have enough time, then this is a great alternative of some super similar views to the São Lourenço hike. There's a super small parking lot here, maybe 5 cars, so you want to get here early if you are going to come here for sunrise. There's also street parking available once that all fills up. As with everything in Madeira, get there early so you can actually get a parking spot.
When we went, there was actually like a rave going on next to us, which was kind of crazy, but we tried to keep to ourselves. We got up the drone, got some incredible views, and it was crazy that you could see the entire north coast of Madeira. After this, you're going to continue driving along the north coast and check out the old traditional Santana houses. We're now here at the old Santana houses. These are one of the best parts of the history of the island. They're made out of wood. They were made in such a triangular shape because of the crazy wind and storms that they can get here that we have been experiencing during this trip. They're created this way so it helps drain the rainwater, because we actually heard that it has more rainy days in Madeira than it does sunny days, which is honestly wild. But we love the colors of them. They have this beautiful red door. They're made of red and white. There's all kinds of flowers around here. The town is super cute. So if you're looking for a spot to spend a nice sunny day or maybe grab lunch and walk around, Santana is a phenomenal spot to do it on your Madeira trip. If you're looking for another hike and trying to be a little bit more adventurous on this day, I would definitely check out one of the levadas in the area. This one is going to be called Levada del Caldeira Verde. It is a beautiful little hike there. All of the waterfall hikes here are very adventurous, and you're going to get absolutely soaked, mostly because Madeira rains so much. Just keep that in mind. Bring your rain jacket or a poncho when you do this, but it is a really fun little adventure. We ran out of time to do it, but if you're looking for a little bit more adventure, I would definitely add it to your itinerary.
Lastly, all good things must come to an end. It's day 7. Now, what we like to do, because the weather here is so hit and miss on Madeira, if you want to use this day as something to take what you had to cancel, or if you didn't have good conditions for a hike that you wanted to do, you're going to add it on this day. But otherwise, this will be your day to explore Funchal. Spend your last day soaking up the city, explore the markets, the famous fruit and vegetable markets, the old town, or relax at a waterfront cafe. There are so many different options here. Or take the cable car up to the botanical gardens if you were going to do this. Once again, do this before 9 a.m. because the parking was an absolute nightmare. Honestly, driving in downtown Funchal was really stressful. So if you do have a rental car, I would advise like parking far away and maybe busing into town. You do want a rental car to get to all the other things on the other side of the islands outside of the city. But in the city, it is real stressful. And if you're feeling a little adventurous, there is a famous toboggan ride that you can do in the city too. And I'll link it down below for you if you're interested. That is it for our 7-day Madeira itinerary. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. And we'll see you back next week with our next Madeira guide on all the things that we wish we knew before going to Madeira.